Hi, I'm Sandi Genovese, and today we're going to make this cool accordion book with a belly band that's holding it closed. Now it's black on the front, and I'm probably going to add a little more decoration, but you don't even have to untie the belly band. It's so cool, you just slide it off. Makes it really easy. And then open it up inside. You can see that I have started to place some of my favorite photos of Addison over the years. I still have lots more to add, and of course I'm going to add journaling and little notes to her. I'm going to give it to her on her birthday, so it seemed kind of fitting for her to have her birthday suit in at least one of them. But the idea is that this can be either a little mini book for photos, it could be a birthday card, it could be a card for any occasion. But first, you can see on the back, it's just 3 pieces of black. I started with 12 by 12 paper, so I thought I would show you first how easy it is to create this element. So let me move this out of the way and bring in. I started with 3 sheets of 12 by 12, and I cut each one of them so that it's 7 by 12. So if you look at this one, it's 7 inches is the width, and 12 inches, I left the length at 12. 2 of them I want to divide into thirds. So I'm going to come in 4 inches and score, and another 4 inches and score, and then when I accordion fold, basically I've divided my 12 inches into thirds. You're going to do that 2 times. So this is going to be the right side and the left side of the book, but you need the inside, which is going to be right here. The inside has to have flaps that you can overlap. So I came in 2 inches and scored, and then 4 inches and scored, 4 inches and scored, and that leaves me with 2 inches. So you have 2-inch flaps on the ends, and that's going to allow you to overlap this and to overlap this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll put my adhesive. I know I say this every time, you're sick of hearing it, but more adhesive for you. This is enough so that I can attach everything and it will stay together for you to see how to build this. And you want to just tuck it right against the fold, press it down, and that seam becomes, especially on a dark color like black, you really have a hard time seeing that this isn't, it just looks like it's one long piece of paper. And if you have one long piece of paper, that's great. But if you mostly just have 12 by 12, this is easy, easy, easy. As they say, easy peasy. I just saw on the news that actually is in the dictionary, the online dictionary now. Go figure. All right, so I've lined that up with that fold line. So when the whole thing is folded up, you have one nice long accordion booklet. And it can be, as I said, a photo display, a photo mini book, a greeting card, sort of up to you. Before we look at the insides, in order to hold it shut, I created a belly band. So what I did was I started with a strip of pattern paper that I liked, and this strip is 2 3/4 inches wide and 8 5/8 inches long. And the reason that it's kind of an odd dimension is you want to take your booklet, and it's best to do this after you have all the stuff inside, because that's going to add some thickness. Once you have that, then you want to create this belly band, and you're going to fold it around so that if you look from the side, you can see I have a double fold. It's about 1/4 inch apart, because that's how thick mine is, and the same thing on this end. And that way the two just barely come together. You can see how the thickness is going to dictate how long you want this to be. Once you've established what that's going to be, then find the middle, and I'm going to trim this off. I've marked the middle, and then I came in 1/2 inch, did another mark, and connected those lines so that I would have an end to this belly band that is more fun to look at than just the rectangle in the ends. This way I have what looks like, I don't know, kind of a banner look to the ends. I am going to have to punch holes, so I'm going to go ahead, punch this now on both ends. and then I'm going to add the decoration. So you'll see what I mean about when I'm talking about all these other layers. I'm going to add basically in the middle, and it's funny because I don't usually do things down the middle, but in this case I liked it down the middle. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is pretty thick, so I'm going to overlap both ends, and it looks like I'm going to be able to tell a little bit better if I have it in the middle by flipping it over. So this, and the fold is going to make it want to stretch a little bit. So while the adhesive, before I trim it off, I'm going to get these creases on the orange like so, because this will allow the orange to have the same folds that I have in the red zebra paper. So this way, now I can go back and do a stronger finger fold on the orange, and I'm going to do the same thing with the next layer, which is just a yellow dot. So remember, you're going to do more adhesive than this, but once again, I'll go ahead and place the book in here so that I get my folds, and lay this yellow down so that it wraps. The orange just shows a little. Come around to the front side, and the same thing with this side. And once again, now my yellow needs my fold legs. So you can see how many thicknesses I've added. That was why I decided maybe it was a good idea to go ahead and cut. So I'm only cutting through a couple thicknesses now, to go back and trim off the excess of both of these. Do the same thing for this end. Trim off the excess. And my hole punch is going to still need to go through 2 layers, which I don't think it'll have any trouble doing, but I'm not so convinced that it would easily punch all the way through 3 layers. So I'm going to use my old hole, the first hole that I made as a guide, and punch out my holes. So now I have a decorated belly band that's ready to go around the booklet. And at this point, you can decide if you want what color you want the ribbon to be. It can be black, it can be, just to change it up a little, I thought I'd go ahead and do red on this one since I did black on the first one. So I just have a narrow ribbon. This is where you need one of your kids or a friend to come in, because you need somebody to put their finger right there, because you want a nice tight, the bow to have a nice, tightness to it so that it really is nice. And then I'll trim off. I don't really need the ends for this to be quite so long, but it's easy to put this all together to make the belly band. Now when it comes time to decorating the inside, it really depends on who you're making it for. When you look at the inside, you can see that I've got just bands of color. So if I set this below it, I'm not going to stop and glue them in, but you'll see what I mean. If I take yellow and add it here, and maybe I'm going to add the purple, and I might go back and add some checks to it here. I have a band here. 2 of the things that I did, I used just a whiteout pen to add these really irregular dots, and I used the same pen to add the stripes down here. If you look right above it, you can see some of the checks in this are made by putting 2 pieces of blue together. So I have my blue paper, and then periodically I've gone back with a lighter color to add that dimension and that detail. But it is fun and easy, and once you have it all decorated, Then is really the fun part. Then you go back and you pick your favorite photos, pick embellishments. Of course, I'm going to add tags. I'm going to add journaling. I have lots more photos to add. I'm even going to turn around and decorate the back side so that there is lots and lots still for me to do on this. But hopefully it's enough for you to see how cool this is. You know, whether you want to display or you want to store some of your favorite photos, this accordion mini book makes a really good choice.